A man left his house that morning to go to work. He was an engineer, a senior director at the NNPC, a father of 3. He never came home. By the time anyone found him, he had been stabbed and burned beyond recognition inside his own car. His name was Engineer Victor Gabriel Isonguyo, and the story of who killed him and what happened next is one of the most shocking true crime stories in Nigerian history. Before we talk about the crime, you need to know who Victor Isonguyo was. He was not just a victim. He was a real person with a real life. A highly educated engineer who had worked his way up to become a senior director at one of Nigeria's most powerful corporations, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company. He had a home, a new car, 3 children who called him daddy. By every measure, this was a man who had built something worth protecting. But inside his own household, something had gone very wrong. His wife, Mrs. Enebong Isonguyo, had reportedly been having an affair with their family pastor, a man named Udoka Okechukwu. And when Victor allegedly found out, according to prosecutors, the 2 lovers made a decision that would destroy everything. The plan, as told to police and later in court, was cold and calculated. Mrs. Enebong allegedly instructed the pastor to position himself along Sapala Road, the route Victor took to work every morning. His job was simple: flag Victor down and ask for a ride. And Victor, trusting a man he had welcomed into his home as a man of God, stopped his car and let him in. What happened next, according to prosecutor, is difficult to hear. Somewhere along that road, the pastor pulled out a sharp object and stabbed him. Then he opened the fuel tank of the car, siphoned out petrol, and set the vehicle on fire, with Victor still inside. Victor Gabriel Isonguyo, a father of 3, was burned beyond recognition. But it didn't stop there. According to the prosecution, in the days that followed, Enebong transferred millions of naira and landed properties, her husband's properties, to the pastor. She also gave him Victor's brand new car. The pastor changed the number plates to hide it. That car would later be recovered by police, and it became one of the most important pieces of evidence in the entire case. Investigators moved quickly. Both Mrs. Enebong Isonguyo and Pastor Udoka Okechukwu were arrested. The Commissioner of Police at the time, CP Feluso Adebanjo, made a public statement that shook Benin City. He said both suspects have confessed to being lovers. He said they had both confessed to plotting the murder of Victor Isonguyo together. The pastor, he said, had been the one to carry out the killing, and the wife had been the one to plan it. But Enebong rejected every single word of it. She denied the affair. She denied the pregnancy. She denied any involvement in her husband's death. She said she trusted the pastor as a longtime family friend and man of God. She said she gave him the car and documents because she trusted him, not because they were partners in crime. And then she said something that her lawyer would carry all the way to the Supreme Court of Nigeria. She said, "I have never committed any crime before in my life. God should intervene." After years of legal proceedings, an Edo State High Court delivered its verdict in 2019. 6 years after Victor's death, both Mrs. Enebong Isonguyo and Pastor Udoka Okechukwu were found guilty of murder. The sentence: death by hanging. She appealed. The Court of Appeal reviewed everything and upheld the death sentence. Her 3 children, who has already lost their father, were now growing up without their mother too. But her lawyer, barrister Ola Yiwola Afolabi, refused to stop fighting. He took the case all the way to the Supreme Court of Nigeria. His argument was this: the main evidence linking Enebong to the murder was the confession of the pastor, her co-accused. There was no direct evidence, no eyewitness, nothing that placed her at the scene of the crime, and under Nigerian law, that is not enough to hang someone. In April 2022, Justice Mary Odili of the Supreme Court of Nigeria delivered a landmark judgment. She found that both lower courts had made serious errors. She called the conviction a miscarriage of justice, and she ordered Mrs. Enebong Isonguyo to be released from prison, unconditionally with immediate effect. After 9 years behind bars, after 2 death sentences, and after watching her children grow up through prison visits, Enebong Isonguyo walked out of Oko prison a free woman. Now here is where the story takes one final, deeply troubling turn. Remember the pastor Udoka Okechukwu? The man who was also sentenced to death. He never waited for a Supreme Court ruling. In 2020, during the chaos of the EndSARS protests that swept across Nigeria, Pastor Okechukwu escaped from Oko prison. He has not been found, nor has he been recaptured as of today. He is still free. So here is where we are. Victor Isonguyo is dead. His 3 children grew up without him. His wife spent 9 years in prison and was eventually declared wrongly convicted. And the pastor who was said to be the one who physically carried out the murder is currently nowhere to be found. No one is serving time for the murder of engineer Victor Gabriel Isonguyo.